Flippin' Fantastic Podcast, episode 8. We thought we'd do like a jewelry for dummies episode. I don't know.
Yep.
Beginner's guide to jewelry, because Corey, Grandma Pop's Vintage, suggested in the Discord literally like 20 minutes ago that you want a guide, but I just thought we'd talk about our what we know about jewelry. I don't sell a ton, but
Yeah, me
had a few
either.
things come up jewelry-wise lately that I thought we could talk about that, and maybe when we become pros at it, we could come back
Right.
and revisit this and then talk about, because I know this summer I'm going to be looking at more jewelry at sales.
Yeah. Me too.
And
I've
I've also
sold
been watching
some.
YouTube
So,
videos.
yeah. I watch
Mhm.
a lot of people that sell jewelry. So I know enough to be dangerous, I guess, but I don't know a lot.
I've just been watching I'm caught up on YouTube videos, and then so I'll get the suggested things on the side.
Yeah.
And I came across this one video. This lady, she'll buy these. They'll get like these glass jars or vases and just fill them with jewelry and sell them at whatever thrift store is near her. And she'll
Yeah.
buy it for like 30 or 40 bucks and then go through it, and then she'll
Yep.
show us like, oh, this is so and so piece. This is worth like so much. But then like most of the time she will break even, or she'll find something really worth something. And it's just kind
Right.
of fun. It's like a mystery box.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's kind of fun.
That's basically where all this stuff I pulled out there, because it's up here with me.
Mhm.
When I feel like doing something small, I'll pull something out of here. But that's basically what it was. It was a jewelry jar. It wasn't. I ordered it like a mystery box online, like of jewelry. They just stick in the box.
Was it worth it?
I think I've got my money back on what I've sold, because I didn't spend much on it. But it was a while ago, and I haven't listened to anything in a while. But this maybe will get my booty moving.
I would
Actually, some of it's
love.
from my mom too.
Oh,
But
okay. Yeah, I would love to buy mystery lots, but my Goodwill doesn't do that. I guess they used to, but
Mhm.
they don't anymore.
Yeah,
If they did, I would totally drop up to like $50 on a lot of
yeah,
jewelry. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe this
Mm,
summer I'll find a sale where they're like,
right.
"Oh, pick the," last summer, the thing that kind of got me into the jewelry things, I didn't really deal in jewelry. There was one sale I went to, and they're like, "Oh, all these jewelry pieces are," they're like, "Just pick some out. It's like $1 or less a piece." And I looked,
Mhm,
I found like 3 rings that were 925 silver, and I'm like, "Well, I
mhm,
don't deal in jewelry because one, I
mhm,
don't have a ring sizer. I don't have anything to test the gems, or I don't
mhm.
know anything about the gemstones other than like, amethyst and so I have 3 like 925 silver rings that are still sitting here because I just don't know what to do with them. I don't know how to size them because I don't have the thing.
Yeah.
But then there was another sale I went to where this lady had, her mom was a Avon, or was it Avon? Yeah, an Avon dealer. I think
Mhm,
I talked about this in another episode. And
mhm,
everything 25 cents a piece. So I picked out all the Avon stamped pieces
mhm,
that weren't rings. So it's a lot of pins. And I
mhm.
think that was it. Just pins, a bunch of
Yeah.
decorative
Yeah, because we did talk
looking
about that.
ones.
Because
So
people like Avon jewelry, and some of it
mhm.
is vintage, and it's not going to sell for a ton, but it'll sell. People like
Mhm.
it.
Like, I just sold a
Um,
leprechaun one a couple days ago, probably to get ready for St. Patty's Day.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you can get a ring sizer, and I would if I were you, off Amazon for not too much,
I
and
should.
then you could just show it probably under $20 or less. The
That makes me regret not picking up the Avon rings that lady had at that sale, 'cause she had some cool ones, but I was just like, I don't
mhm.
wanna deal with them.
So out of the box I bought, I pulled out anything that said 925. I had like about 3 pieces, and they all sold. They weren't rings. They were like
Mhm.
charms, little necklaces and charms that were 925. One was a Jelly Belly teddy bear, so it had like
Mhm.
a red stone in it. That sold like really quick. Um I remember that one. I can't remember exactly what the other ones were because it's been a while. I think a
Yeah.
bracelet had 925 on it, but they sold quick. So just get a good picture of that 925 and it'll sell. But I would
I do
I would
have
get one of those little ring
one.
sizers.
I should. I just like I at that point last year, I was just like, I don't want to deal with rings. I'm
Yeah,
like, whatever. But now I'm
yeah.
like, I'm
Yeah.
watching these jewelry videos and I'm like
Mhm.
obsessed. It's like it's what I sit down and do now when I'm working. If I'm caught up on my stuff, I'll watch these like unboxing jewelry or going
Mhm.
through this jewelry mystery and um yeah, it's been fun to learn about it.
Mhm.
I know there's a lot of sales I went to last year that had jewelry that I really didn't pay attention to. It's just this one had Avon, and I found a couple things that, at 25 cents,
Yeah,
you'll
if they
make
look
money.
cute.
So I was just
Mhm.
like, it was just like one of those opportunities. So
Mhm.
I've been looking now when I go to Goodwill, they'll like handpick items, like they'll take out the good stuff and then they'll put like the really costume jewelry out. And I've been checking it just in case, but I haven't
Mhm.
found anything that's been worth it, and they charge like I think a couple bucks for a pair of earrings or $4 or it's just kind of not great pricing.
Yeah.
So I kind of
Our
don't pay
Goodwills
attention.
don't even put jewelry out. Like, I'd never see any
Really.
jewelry. But if I go on to the local Goodwill online, they just do
Mhm.
massive bulks, you know. They kind of sometimes they separate them into collections, you know.
That's what the one here does, because I remember whenever we'd find jewelry, there was this bin right under like there's these tables where we'd sort out everything.
Yeah.
There was a bin right underneath just for jewelry, a big plastic bin, and I
Mhm.
think that's might be what they do. So I'm actually checking Shop Goodwill right now to see like near me if they actually do sell those lots, because that'd be kind
Yeah,
of cool.
mine
But
does.
the shipping's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. That's why I only look for local
Uh-huh.
because
Looks like there's two regions near me within a couple hours. Like,
mhm.
hmm,
Yeah, well, I know yours is
I'll
a
have to
little
look.
farther away. Mine's only like 15 minutes away. And it's next to a good
Oh,
it's next to the it's in their big complex, their training complex. So it's and they have a nice one of my favorite Goodwill stores. It's not very big, but
mm-hmm.
it's right there. But yeah, I don't I mean, unless I found something that was absolutely, on Goodwill online, shipping is ridiculous. I don't know.
Yeah, someone was complaining about it. I
Mhm.
don't know where I heard, but
Yeah,
someone was complaining. They're like, "Oh, they put it on there. It's like a 2 pound item, and
yeah, was that
it
on
says like."
Discord or something? Because I saw the same thing. It was like
I'm thinking it was
two
maybe in the
pounds, but they
Facebook group.
priced maybe, but they had stated it was 2 pounds worth, but their shipping calculation was 6 pounds in their little, in their shipping. So
I,
I mean, I know I get putting a little bit for box and padding, but that's kind of outrageous, especially when you're shipping like I don't know. I think they ship like a lot of them ship like FedEx and stuff, and
uh
it ends up being you know.
I
Plus
do see some jewelry lots on
they
here.
all put handling fees on there from
Yeah,
like 350 up or whatever.
that's ridiculous. But I do see
Mhm.
a few jewelry grab bags. There's one at 750 for
Mhm.
18.4 pounds. One for that's 20 pounds for 11 bucks so far. It ends in 8 hours. So I guess, but okay, say that you get this one that's 11 bucks. It says um it has the weight is 20 pounds. Okay, handling price is $4 just for handling.
Mhm.
And then shipping is to me, which this is only a couple hours away, is putting shipping as
Yeah,
$15.26.
that's ridiculous.
So I kind of haven't looked on there, but it'd be fun to find some grab bags somewhere this
I mean
summer. I'm kind of
if it fit in a flat rate, that's less than that, right? Like a
mhm.
flat rate box.
I'm
But
thinking they're just making trying to make more money on the
I think so
on the
too.
yeah.
I think so too. I I I would definitely look and brooches are really in the pins. They're like in now, vintage looking brooches. That's a lot of like as far as jewelry's gone, like a lot of what I listed first and like what sold. I still have some. I have like a couple brooches out there that are really pretty. I don't know, the eBay jewelry category is so flooded,
Mhm.
so I don't know, like, it'd probably be better to try a little smaller place like Macari or like Etsy if you have like truly like something really cool and vintage. Um, because I have some really cool like brooch pieces that I think should sell, but
Mhm.
um, they haven't yet. But I haven't been cross listing, so I want to cross list some of that stuff to like Etsy, see if it gets more action. But jewelry is I think is a little bit harder one to sell in just because of there's so much
Mhm.
on eBay. There's
Once we
so
know what to look
much.
for, especially
Mhm.
marked stuff, like,
Mhm.
or stamped,
Yeah.
signed, whatever. Um
So when you're selling, I think like keywords are always important, but I think they're especially important for jewelry. Like you sold something like St. Patrick's, and that's coming up. If it's
Mhm.
even green, I would kind of put
Yeah.
that in there.
Yep.
um,
And I sold a ghost pin around Halloween. It was an Avon little
yeah,
ghost pin.
yeah.
Really
I
cute.
actually sold one. Yeah, it was a little cat and a pumpkin jack o' lantern. I think it was a Hallmark one. I think I
Mhm.
sold that one at Halloween. But yeah, so yeah, stuff like that'll go quicker just because people are like Halloween, jewelry. Um, Other jewelry, yeah, it's just a numbers game. Just keep listing it. Somebody will see it eventually. But it is, again, it is, I think, just a little bit tougher category because of. Oh, I think I kicked my tripod. If I wobbled, um, just because there's so much of it, just so much of it. But
And you
the other
can
good thing is
store
like
a lot
knowing what you
more in
have.
a smaller area.
Yes.
Like
Like I have a ton
like
in these baskets that isn't listed.
yeah.
But now I'm getting motivated. So I mean, I sorted it a while ago. I
Mhm.
sorted it. I put them all in their own little baggie, so I could
That on
just
its own is a whole
kind of
task to sort all your
yes. So I could kind
jewelry.
of go
So
in and just when I'm feeling it. Obviously, haven't felt jewelry in a while, but pull it out. Some of the things you need to list. One thing for necklaces, I think, is good to have like a little stand that you can, so you can drape them so they can see. I have
I need one
just
of those.
there's nicer ones, but I have ones that are just like cardboard with fabric on top of them. Yeah, so just you see how it lays.
Mhm.
Um, so I do.
They even have
I've
ones to put rings on. They have ones for earrings.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I don't have
so.
anything for those, but I do have the necklace ones. I think I got them really cheap off Amazon. Like you can get them at Michael's and stuff too. Um,
It's funny on your
but
screen or in your office. I can see something of yours that's there that I just sold like 2 days ago.
what was that?
There's that little Stardust Hotel ashtray that you have some little
Oh
things in.
yeah,
I just sold that a couple days ago.
yeah. That's
That
so
exact
funny.
thing. Yeah.
I haven't listed it yet. I just got it at a estate sale with all these like Fisher Price little people, and I was well, it was funny. I got it. You guys are all going to the trash to cash bash and in here it is,
In
Stardust.
Vegas.
Yeah, in Vegas. But
What did I sell mine for? It was one thing I just put on sale too, so
yeah, and I
it's been sitting
found it
here.
at a estate sale. One of those estate sales where the guy's just like, just give me $10. I'm like, okay. I had like a whole bag full of
It looks like
stuff.
I saw it for 10 free shipping. I was able to put it first class, so I
Yeah,
maybe paid $5, but I paid like 25 cents for it at a
yeah, that's probably all I paid for it when all was said and done because he didn't. I don't even know if it was marked, but I bought it. I was like, my husband and I was like, is that where we stayed? We went to Vegas like years and years ago,
Mhm.
probably like 20 years ago at this point, and I was like, is that where we stayed? We couldn't remember, but it wasn't where we stayed. We finally figured out, but that wasn't it. But I love the I love the print on this. That
Yeah, I
old
thought it was really cool.
that old
That's
kind
when
of
I first heard about Kevin,
mid-century.
buying ashtrays and selling them. I'd watched a
Yeah.
video and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be like here I have a $10 ashtray I sold with free shipping." It's like,
Yeah.
not great, but
They're not
whatever."
great, but it's they're $10 adds up. I'm okay with like,
Mhm.
especially, I sold, well, most of what I sold over the weekend was not great, but at least it's my store was, because it's been terrible lately. I mean, I went,
Yeah,
I
all
think
my
almost
stuff
three
has been
days with
really low
nothing.
dollar.
Yeah, and I went like 3 days with almost nothing. No sales, no
Wow.
offers. I'm like, and I
Offers have
listed
been
stuff
really slow
too.
too.
Yeah, I listed, and it was like I was listing stuff too. It was like I took a bunch of pictures, and I was at my parents' house, and I was like listing. So like during those 2.5 days of nothing, no sales, I was listing stuff. But it's kind of weird because sometimes you hear, oh, it's eBay's so slow, but it's like a bunch of people are like, it's fine. And a bunch of people are like, it's slow, but I everybody's saying it's kind of slow right now. And hopefully it picks back up. But I did get
Yeah.
some sales over the weekend. But yeah, so I'm
Yes.
grateful for the $10 sales when they come around when it's like this because I need
Yeah, I haven't
something.
really since we're on the subject of sales, yeah, I've sold a couple like shoes. I sold a pair of Doc Martens for 45. I sold a
Mm.
pair of kids snowboarding boots for 55. Other than that, everything else has been under 20 bucks. It's like or even 10 bucks. A lot of tiny things.
I sold two things over 20, but just barely. I sold the last of my hen on nests. You got your kitty on the nest. I had like three or
Oh
four of them.
yeah.
I sold the last one for like 22. I sold a little glass, like vintage, it had Superman stuff on it for like
Mhm.
21. And then everything else has been under 20.
It's been Oh, that
It's terrible.
Mary Kay men's cologne I sold. Well, it got delivered, and then right away they opened a return and said that they bought it by mistake. So I'm hoping they didn't just like buy it to maybe like get a sample out of it or something and like send it back to me with way less than what came in it.
Uh huh.
I don't know. Or maybe they genuinely bought it by mistake. It's still waiting for the buyer to ship item, I guess, according to this. So we'll see if they send it back. But
Yeah.
at least it wasn't I was hoping that it, like, didn't break or something in shipping. I was a little
Yeah.
stressed about that. I'm like, "Oh, it's
Hmm.
$80 perfume," like
Ooh.
so I'm not super worried. Anyways, but
But
jewelry.
back to
So,
jewelry. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
No, you brought out a few things to show if you had anything, and then I have
yeah.
3 pieces here with me that I
Well,
just listed
obviously,
today.
you want to look for, so nine. If you're not familiar, 925 is the that's like the silver purity that most silver rings or anything is going to have.
Mhm.
So it's going to be stamped on the ring 925 or ring or whatever jewelry 925. So you're looking for 925. That usually denotes sterling silver. Um, Gold, obviously, you're looking for like, it'll say carat, 14 carat, 18 carat,
Mhm.
10 carat. The lower the number, the lower the amount of gold in it. Because, like, if you're not familiar, gold and
You can
silver are
also
really
Google.
soft. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can Google those things. Gold and silver are
Yeah,
really
'cause it
soft,
has
so they're
the
always mixed in with other metals. Um, so,
Yeah, there's some
like,
markings here,
usually,
like silver can have like 800, 958, and 999, which is like
mhm,
all different purities.
yeah.
But
Hmm.
gold and platinum can
Usually,
also have the
925
same.
is right.
Yeah.
Usually
I've
925
never
is
seen
what you
anything
found.
else.
No, me either.
Mhm.
But gold, you see the 18 or the 20. Um, Funny, my mom's first wedding band and, well, an engagement ring, I think she said it was like 22 carat, and it like totally wore, it was so soft, it wore like till where it was going to
Really?
break. Yeah, she had to get it
Wow.
like redone. So that's like, that's why, you have it. It's more gold, but if you're actually going to wear the things, it's not a great. 18 karat is probably better.
Actually, yeah,
But
speaking of like
mhm,
softness and stuff, like I have my wedding ring here that
mhm,
got screwed up, but um it was 925 silver and it was very intricate. Like it has a little you can't really see it very well, but it's like got leaves and all that.
mhm,
This is the repaired one now, but
mhm,
the silver was so soft that the original prongs on it
mhm.
bent and my gem fell out and got it
Yeah.
fixed and it's awful. But they're like, "Oh, well for something like that you'd want white gold." Like I don't like gold colored
Right. Hmm.
jewelry. So
Yeah.
they said get white gold. It's silver colored, but it's a little
Right.
stronger as
Yeah.
far as like
Hmm.
jewelry strongness
Most.
if it's something
Yeah.
about it.
Most diamonds are like diamond settings are like the prongs are usually white gold anyway. It looks better
Mhm.
with the diamond because you're not
Mhm.
interfering. But yeah, it's probably the purity, and it's stronger than, like, I don't know if you'd want. Anyway, it's too soft. Some of it's too soft.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what you're looking for. Some people look for that stuff and then they take it and, you know, turn it in for whatever. There's a name for it. It's not melt value. What is it?
Melt uh it's something with that word.
Yeah.
Um
Anyway, but like
I
you could
don't
take it to a
yeah.
jeweler. They're not going to give you. It's just like you're not trying to buy something for what you're going to sell it for. So the jeweler's not going to buy it from you for what they're going to sell it for. If it's just
Mhm.
something that's broken or whatever, you might as well just take it to them because they'll melt it and they'll use it for something else. Um, if it's something nice and you just want it appraised, find a good jeweler near you to get it.
Yes,
But
find a good one
mhm.
because as far as jewelry, I had some rings that were my great grandma's that we wanted to figure out how much they were because there were
Mhm.
some markings, but we couldn't quite figure out what they were.
Yeah.
I took them to one. The first mistake was I took the first time to a pawn shop. They're like, oh, these aren't worth much. Like, we'll give you
Mhm.
like this much. And I'm like, okay. So, and then we went to a jeweler here in town. They're like, oh, this ring is worth a couple thousand. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's just go to a jeweler. Don't go to a pawn
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah.
At
Ask
least the ones
around,
here are
find a
very
good
good. Like,
one. Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, ask
Although,
around, find a good one that, people deal with is reputable.
yeah, something that's been around for a while. Although
Mhm.
the one jeweler here that has been around a while was the one that screwed up my wedding ring. So
Mm.
they were good for appraising, but not for fixing my ring.
Yeah, I mean,
So
everybody, there's always, it is what it is. Sometimes
yeah,
it happens, but
it
yeah.
happens.
So
Anyways, but
if you end up finding good stuff, why don't you show something? I have something I wanna.
well, it's also like as far as markings, of course, the 95, the 14 karat, whatever.
Mhm.
On the back of some jewelry, like this one I'm about to show, there's also like a maker's mark. So another brand that I also look out for is it's usually says Sarah Cove. It stands for Sarah
Mhm.
Coventry.
Coventry. Mhm.
Um, I've sold a lot of those kinds of pieces.
Yeah.
But this one I just listed today. It's a little gold owl, gold tone ish. It's not gonna focus. Little owl,
Mhm.
but the eyes kind of glow.
I
Or the
know.
eyes were
That's so
green, and I
fun.
checked, and they glow. I don't know if it's gonna pick up on the camera, but you can
It
kind of see. There you
right there,
go.
right there.
They
Yeah.
glow. So the
I
eyes
know.
glow, which is cool.
So
It.
that's
I guess
fun.
if you find some pieces that
Mhm.
if you do find a ring that with a gem that glows
Mhm.
with the uranium glass, it's sometimes worth more. This really
Yeah.
wasn't worth a ton, even though it does have the glowing eyes.
Mhm.
It's got a good weight, but so like to describe this, I put like owl, I put gold tone. Like when you list jewelry, you don't just want to put gold because someone might come and assume that it is gold. So you want to put gold tone
Yeah.
to say it's gold colored, but not like I'll say this is gold tone, but it's not like 14 karat gold, you know.
Right.
Some people just don't know.
Now
That's
on
one thing I had to learn because I
yeah,
I was one of those people that just put, oh, it's gold colored, so I'm just gonna put gold. And
yeah.
yeah.
I and even when you do that, I had, and I don't have them with me. I guess they're listed, so well, they're not listed. I took them down. They're a pair of
Hmm.
earrings. They are they're just costume jewelry, but they're a rose gold color.
Hmm.
And I put rose gold toned, made me take them down. And I couldn't
Really?
figure out I tried to put them in like I fiddled with some different things. Put it up again, they're like, nope. Like, I'm not
Hmm.
claiming these are gold, you know. So even then, sometimes eBay. So they're actually in. I have a drawer with the jewelry that I have listed. They're probably still in there, but I took the listing down. And
Hmm.
it's funny because I think I had the same problem with them. I think it's a is it earrings or is it a bracelet? Anyway, I had the same problem when I was back in the day listing on Facebook Marketplace. They wouldn't let me leave it up.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And just so you know, I will say this too. Selling putting any kind of jewelry up on eBay is a pain in the behind as far as um uh all your item specifics go. Because I don't they need to stop with the what's your diamond clarity? Well, this is a costume jewelry bracelet with beads on it. It's no diamonds.
Hmm.
So, and then it ends up, usually when I list, I just put what I do and then I leave the rest blank and then it comes up later and when I'm sitting around bored, I'll put NA and all those things. Um
Hmm.
but it is a pain in the butt. Like I don't they need it, there's all kinds of, origin and all kinds of ridiculous things on jewelry, I'm not, even when you're just selling like they need to fix that because all that nonsense just is a big pain in the butt for if
Or
you're
even
just
having
selling
things like a
costume jewelry.
UPC that doesn't have a
Yeah.
UPC and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I just cut and paste my NA and I'll go through and just put them all so it'll leave me alone. But
Hmm.
it's so it's so silly, you know. If you want to get I mean, I know there's probably categories for really good jewelry. I'm assuming. I've
Yeah,
not
like,
sold
I don't
anything
know,
like that.
historical jewelry or I don't
Yeah.
know.
But like like, diamonds and rubies or something,
Mhm.
when you're selling, semi-precious stones, okay, or I mean, but you know, we're not really looking at the clarity of our semi-precious sapphire or not sapphire, garnet. That's my
Yeah. Hmm.
birthstone. Like, I don't I have, if I have a pair of little garnet chip earrings, who knows what the I don't know what the clarity is or the carat is. Nobody cares. It's not a diamond, but anyway, you're going to, if you do sell jewelry, you're going to see a whole crap load of ridiculous, um, unless you're selling something really good. Just, if you're selling costume jewelry or just vintage costume jewelry, you're going to see a whole crap
Mhm.
load of stuff like that. But yeah, so sorry I
Did
went
you
off on
have
that
one you
tangent,
wanted to
but
show? No, you're fine, 'cause
oh,
that's something I haven't
so
dealt with much selling
yeah.
what I sell. I haven't dealt with a bunch of, like, diamond clarity or those kinds of things that eBay wants you to fill
Yeah.
out, so
So other things that glow, so things that'll glow are like uranium glass,
Mhm.
and some other, which is probably what's that's what's in your owl eyes.
Thing is, I don't know, 'cause they don't look like I'm trying to feel it, 'cause they look like cheap little rhinestones or whatever that you'd see, like, glued
Well,
on. I don't
yeah,
know,
okay,
but, like,
so well
now that I'm
here's
looking at them more, they might be glass.
Mhm.
especially in a Sarah Coventry piece.
Right. So they might have done that. If it's glass, then it could be uranium glass.
Mhm.
Some stones, there's certain minerals that'll glow, and that's why
Oh yeah,
uranium
I have
glows
some
too.
of those too, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So some minerals glow, and sometimes acrylic will glow. These are just plastic beads, but when you had your before when we were getting ready to record, I stuck my thing over top. So these are, I don't know if you can tell. Can you tell?
A little bit.
Yeah, it's hard to.
It's hard to get the to show up on the camera.
Let me see if I turn my light off. There.
Oh yeah, you can
Yeah.
tell. Oh
So
yeah.
they're glowing like kind of a bluish. So some acrylic, like lucite, some of them will glow because of what's in them. So these are just, this is just acrylic, but it
Mhm.
will glow. So, I mean, what you're going to do with that when you're wearing it on your neck, unless you're like going to a rave
A
and they
black
have like
light party.
lights. Yeah.
That'd
But
be
it
fun.
does. And it's something to make your thing, in a
Stand
sea of, chunky statement piece necklaces. That'll make it stand out a little bit. So, to put that in there and to show it in your pictures. Um, I know what I want. Also, what I wanted to talk about, you like, so yours is Sarah Coventry. Some other
Mhm.
like names that are good costume jewelry. They're not gold or anything, but they're good pieces and they last. And you can find vintage pieces and new pieces. Sarah Coventry, Napier,
Oh yeah, Monet.
and Monet. So I've sold some Monet pieces of jewelry that I found that were like kind of vintagey 80s.
Actually, I have a
Um,
Monet piece right here. That
mhm.
I got. Also, all these I got from a Whatnot auction. So I this is when I splurged on Whatnot. And I said I regretted it, but now I don't because I found a piece that was worth a decent
Yeah.
amount. But
hmm
this is a Monet. It just like a coil snake. I don't know what they
hmm
call it. Like a snake
Yeah,
bracelet.
it's
It's
like
really
a.
it's tiny. But it is marked Monet on the clasp. But like on pieces, you always want to check the clasp. But there's also like it can sometimes be like on this little part. You have to like
hmm
really pay attention. A lot of time you can
Yeah.
see it, but there's some pieces where you have to get like a little magnifying glass and look. Even
Right.
with me, like you have to look really closely. But this one's
Yeah.
cool. It's tiny though. I don't even think it'll fit on my wrist, but it's cute.
Definitely wouldn't fit
I
on
only
mine.
paid
Yeah,
maybe like
it's
$4 on Whatnot
yeah.
for it, but
Yeah, so but yeah, looking for the name if you have like a little magnifying glass. I know I have like
uh
I have a Swiss Army knife that has one that pops out. But you can get, people that do a lot of jewelry get like a loop that they to look for these things because sometimes it's really hard to see.
there's some hardcore jewelry people around here
hmm
that they will go to these sales with
And they're
those
looking
little
through their
magnifying
loop.
glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at everything. And it's funny that I just talked about this jewelry because that person I just bought all this from, he just went live on Whatnot right now. So I'm gonna maybe like go on there after this and see if
Check
he has
out and
anything
see if
else.
he has
Cause
anything good.
yeah,
That's funny.
because
Yeah.
he's been selling like his mom's jewelry or something. So she has a lot of decent pieces, which I have this other
hmm
one here. I'm gonna wait a while to show,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it
So
made
that's
just everything worth it. So
Yeah, those are good brands to look for because they are quality, even though they're
they're
not
not
gold or
gold, they're not
silver,
silver, they're not
but they're quality pieces of costume jewelry. They last. They don't have like they're not like painted gold and flicking off or anything. So
yeah.
those are
Um Another thing with jewelry that came up that I didn't know about was there's jewelry made out of Bakelite,
mhm.
which is an old plastic, but I guess
Yeah.
there's this guy I've been watching on YouTube, Rusty the Reseller is his name. And he does a lot of jewelry videos or like, older pieces like that. And
Mhm.
there's one video he did where he's talking about it. You get this stuff called 409. And if you get it
Mhm.
on like a cotton swab and you rub it on the
Mhm.
Bakelite, if it turns yellow, it means it is actual
Yeah.
Bakelite.
Mhm.
And he's talking about how he bought this necklace for like $400 or something, and he's gonna flip
Mhm.
it for like 1,200 because it's made of genuine Bakelite.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wow." It's like,
Yeah,
that's
so
actually worth some money, I guess.
yeah, people look for a Bakelite. So not just jewelry too, like old radios and like
Mhm.
old appliances would have Bakelite knobs. Um,
Oh, I didn't even think of that. I just was
um
like, "Oh, it's jewelry," but
poker chips. Um, there's old, people find old Bakelite, mostly
oh,
they're
yeah, I heard about
poker
there
chips
also on, like,
or
some silverware handles too
what's that?
are made out of Bakelite, like, silverware handles, like the old
Yeah,
ones, like,
yes,
silverware that
yeah.
those
So if you're
Bakelite.
looking at them and they look plasticky, that could be Bakelite.
Mhm.
Some people can say that, and I've never come across it to try it. Like I don't have anything Bakelite, but if you just make big it hot, like you rub it till it get the friction makes it warm. It has like a smell. I'm trying to think
Oh.
of how people describe it. But yeah, there's another. I know 409 and um it's
Hmm.
formaldehyde. So it was made with formaldehyde, so it's going to smell like that. Um, there's something else. It's like a little tube of something that they make it um, that you can use instead of 409. Because I've
Hmm.
heard people say 409 works, and then I've heard some people say it doesn't. I don't know. I've never had
I
anything
have
that I thought
no
was Bakelite.
clue.
But yeah,
Excuse me.
there are people that collect. Well, Bakelite's also going to date stuff because of when they used it. So you know what I mean. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
from the early 1900s or something. Because it was like basically the first plastic. So people do look for it. Yeah, poker chips, backgammon pieces. Sometimes they can be
That's yeah,
Bakelite.
see, it's crazy, like,
Mm-hmm.
how much you find out about, like, this like, because I found out about this Bakelite through jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize that,
Yeah, a lot of
it's
other
also
things
made
had
in a
it.
bunch of other
Mm-hmm.
things, yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what it was. It was basically the first plastic synthetic like plastic material that was used in a lot of stuff. So yeah, I never come across it, but not that and I don't think I have anything in here. Some of the stuff I have in here is not like I might throw in like a craft lot. You know what I mean? It's not that great
I
or
have
something.
sold a couple of, like, costume jewelry lots. I actually have one up right now, but
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing super
Yeah.
amazing.
So I had this. So the other thing we can talk about is like when you're looking at stones, like these. I mean, this is obviously like plastic or acrylic or whatever. I mean, you can tell when you touch it.
Mhm,
Sometimes it's harder to tell if it's glass or if it's a stone, but like these, I think are little amethysts, and I don't know why I don't have
mhm.
this listed because these are little
It's
little
really cute.
amethysts. They're pretty light, but they're purple enough. Yeah, it's cute, and but when you're looking to see if you have something and you think, is it a real stone or is it um, plastic? If it's cold, now this is no longer cold because I've been touching it. But if the
Mhm,
stone is cold, like to the touch, like metal's going to be cold to the touch, but a real like stone, like a piece of amethyst or you know whatever is gonna be cold, like to put against your cheek, um, and tell that it's real. Plastic
it's also
isn't
like if
gonna
you rub
do that.
your fingernail across it, to me, it
Mhm.
has a different feel, like, that's
Yes.
kind of how I tell with
Yeah.
some things.
Yep. They have.
Um
Well, that's what people do with pearls, right? A real
Mhm.
pearl, they do it because their teeth's gonna be gritty. I've never done it
Oh,
because doing
really?
anything like that to my teeth
Yeah,
makes
I'm
me
like,
ugh,
"Ugh."
ugh. But yeah, yeah, like a real pearl, I think is gritty. Like a
Yeah,
fake
see, I don't
pearl,
know
a
anything
fake
about
pearl would
that.
be like a fake pearl would be just smooth, but that's
Mhm.
what I've heard. But yeah, so if you're looking for stones, so this is amethyst comes in different colors. Purple's
There's also
It's
pink
actually,
amethyst
yeah,
too,
it's actually
so
quartz. So, um, whatever's inside of it makes it purple. And then, yeah, rose quartz is the same thing, but it's pink. And then clear quartz. Um, and I put this on it on purpose. So this is these little beads. I don't know. You can see them. And I turn my light off.
yeah,
These
it's a
are,
little over. Oh, okay,
yeah,
there you go.
it's too
Is it
much.
howlite?
Yes. So
Okay.
when people come across turquoise, they think it's turquoise. It's a lot of times they dye howlite. Um,
Oh.
they dye it to look like turquoise, and you can usually tell because the howlite has the dark swirled inclusions, like, you know, you can once you start looking at it more, like I've looked at it a lot, and you can kind of
Mm-hmm.
start to tell the difference that way. But yeah, so a lot of what you think might be turquoise, which is very, like, people, if you find real turquoise and silver, get it up on eBay because that sells, and sells for good money.
That's
Like,
something I just recently learned about too, is the turquoise.
yeah,
So,
but a lot of times it's just going to be dyed howlite, and you could tell if you really study and look between the two. You can tell.
mm-hmm.
And I mean, howlite's its own stone, but turquoise is more valuable.
I'm trying to think what else. Well, I have this pin
Mm-hmm.
brooch that I picked up from this whatnot seller. I could tell what they've been doing is they'll like Google Lens it or something, and then they'll
Yeah.
just, you could tell. Anyways, they put
Mm-hmm.
up this pin.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of fish,
Fish. Mm-hmm.
like a reef thing, and they're like, "Oh, hopefully my camera focuses back. There we go."
Yeah, you're good.
They're like, "Oh, it's made to look like this other pin that sells for X amount of dollars." I'm trying to look at the listing I just made so I can tell you guys what the name was, because it looks like some of this jewelry actually sells from this brand. Okay, Hattie Carnegie was the brand. So I think that they Google Lens this and then they saw that there was like no signature and they're like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a real one." Well, I bought
Mm-hmm.
it. I think I paid me like it was less than $10 I think for this. And then I find a listing for the same exact one on eBay. It's also unsigned. So, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's just it is that pin.
Right.
It's just maybe they were looking for a signature and there was nothing, so they thought it was just a cheaper version. Anyways, I have it listed for 230. And I'm just like, wow. There's another one exactly like this, and there's one where each of the fish is a different color. So it's got a good weight, and like
Yeah.
if you look at it, it's nice. Like there's no missing stones or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know if you find an interesting piece, especially like
Yeah.
something like this where it's fish
Mm-hmm.
with a like coral reef and pearls
Yep.
and
That'll sell.
Google Lens it. That's the easy
Mm-hmm.
way. Like at garage sales, you could quickly just take a picture and Google Lens it really
Yeah.
quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I do that a lot at garage sales just because I don't like to go in blindly and buy a bunch of stuff, even if it's really cheap. I don't really like to buy a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff blindly. I
Mm-hmm.
like to look it up to see if it's even
Mm-hmm.
worth my
Yeah.
time. So
Mm-hmm.
that's all I've got really jewelry wise. I'm trying to think what else.
I don't really have too much else in here.
I'm trying to think what
I
else
did
other
list.
brands I've sold.
Yeah. I mean, I've sold just no name. Oh, I know what I had a bunch of in here. It was an MLM jewelry. It was called Premier Designs, and
Is
I
it like
sold.
paparazzi or whatever
Yeah, but
too? Like
they went out of business a few years ago.
okay.
So I did. And they're not. They're nice things. They're nice. They're not cheap. They're
Mhm.
quality. I have sold a few of those. Um, so if you find them, probably in the next, as the years go by, since they're out of business, it'll be even better.
Mhm.
Just because of that, if people are looking for a piece that they had. But I mean,
I'm
I've
like
sold I've
what?
sold a few even now. But
Hmm.
if you have something that's cool and interesting looking and
And there's also this other thing used to describe jewelry. I forgot what they call it. Oh, aurora borealis. That it's like a
yes.
rhinestone, but it's kind of like
Hmm.
carnival glass looking.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you find anything like that on there,
Hmm.
make sure to use that word because people
Yes.
look for specifically those stones
Yeah.
that look like that. I
They
don't
give
know if
off
they're
like a
glass though, but
they're
I
rhinestones, so
mean,
they're I think they're glass, and they kind of give off a rainbow effect when you hold them into the light. I actually have a brooch with a. It's really pretty, aurora borealis stones. It's one of those ones that
mhm.
I was like, I thought this would sell, and it hasn't. And it's one of those. It's
Is
vintage.
it in the keywords?
Yeah. Hmm. Um,
Hmm.
it's one of those ones that like when I get my act together and I start, I'm gonna do a little cross listing, and like that's something I would put on Etsy and Posh because
Mhm.
you know if I do Posh, but it's something I thought would sell before now. But
Speaking of listing this stuff, I actually have in the mail today from Amazon coming. I saw Lonnie and Candace, you know how they sell a bunch of little stuff, shed
hmm
flips.
hmm
They have those little like
Did
it's
you
like
get
almost like
some?
yes,
Yeah,
I bought one. I bought a two pack.
the little
So what I'm gonna
jewelry
do
hanger
is
things. Yeah,
yeah, it's
I,
got plastic, so I'm gonna
uh-huh.
label each one like pocket one, pocket two,
Yeah.
all the way to
Hmm.
whatever. I got two of them so I can like sort each and every one of these because I have a little IKEA drawer in this closet behind me where I
Hmm.
keep my shipping supplies. That's where I keep like my smalls, like stuff that if I
Yeah.
put it in one of those huge bins, I'm gonna lose it.
Right.
Um, but the thing is, I've got so much smalls in there that it's also a task to sometimes find some of these things. So I'm like, it's
Right.
gonna be easier if I just put each one to its own designated pocket, or at least just say it's in the pocket shelf
Yeah.
thing
Hmm.
hanger. Call it good. So I'm gonna probably
Yeah.
hang it in there
Hmm.
or find somewhere else to hang it. It's got like a hanger, like a clothes hanger type thing on it, but I thought
Hmm.
I'd just put a command hook on the wall somewhere and then hang it
Right.
there.
It's funny
Um,
because it's probably the same one I was looking at on Amazon. I was like, oh, I
it's
should get
like
one of those
14
too. That would be
bucks. It's a two
easier.
pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Hmm.
just bought that. I like bought a bunch of businessy stuff. I bought that. I bought what else did I buy? I ran out of lint rollers, like refills, so I bought more because I use a lot of
Hmm.
those as a
Yeah.
business thing. Lint
Hmm.
roll all the clothes, get all the cat hair off. So I bought like a bunch of business related stuff.
I had to go
Um,
this weekend. I yesterday I had to go and get before I shipped my stuff. I'm like, so I did subscribe for bubble wrap from Bubble Boy, American Bubble
mhm.
Boy. We don't have the link,
Yeah, we don't have a link.
FYI.
Use Dave's link.
Yeah,
Use
but I'm not. So I did it, but
Mhm.
it doesn't come for like another week or two, and I'm like, I don't have enough bubble wrap.
What? It
I
got
know.
here so fast for
No, no,
me.
no. I did the It's
Oh,
on. So I
they sent it
ran
to you
out.
automatically.
So really, what I need to do is I need to buy some so that I because I think if I went down one like cycle,
It'd be
I think
too
I'd have too
frequent.
much. Yeah. But if I so I just need to order an extra so that I have it because I went to Staples. They didn't have any
Mhm.
at Walmart. I went to Walmart. They didn't have any, so I go to Staples and get some bubble wrap. And I'm going to order. I need to get that paper. I think I'm going to get the roll that you use
Mhm.
from Amazon. I'm going to get a
Oh
big
yeah, it's
roll.
great because it lasts. I mean,
Yeah,
it took forever for me to get through it all. So,
yeah. I need to do that.
I'm trying to think of what else.
But
I'm
yeah, I
excited
don't
for
have
jewelry
anything.
stuff. I'm just like, ooh, small little thing. Even like, I'm just kind of having more fun selling small
It's fun.
things like
It's
that.
fun selling. That's why I always have like I don't have anything great in here. Like a lot of the I bought a big thing, like I said, and I pulled out like the good stuff, and a lot of it sold. There's still some up, but this is some of the. Although some of it would probably sell, not for much, but it's easy to list, like a little pair of earrings or something,
Hmm.
you know.
And I'm
Um,
just excited to have the organizer like filled up like with all these
Yeah.
tiny things and just have
Mhm.
it go through all my jewelry and stuff. And I even have like little buttons I'm still trying to sell, like little
Oh,
tiny
yeah, you had the
buttons.
buttons,
I
yeah.
have to go, yeah, go through all those. And like I'm getting to the point I was like, I'm gonna list everything like in my death pile. Like I have a little pile going on. I'm like, I'm just gonna get it all listed because my mind has been so crazy lately. There's this game I've been playing. It's awful, but there's a ranked season. So I've been grinding that season to get to a
Mhm.
certain point, and I
Yeah.
finally got to that point yesterday morning. I woke up and I got on for like 3 hours and I finally got to this point. I've been working at it for a couple months
Uh-huh.
now. And now I'm like, I've got so much time on my hands because I'm not obsessing over getting to this point on this game. So now I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna go delist all my cheap stuff. Finally, like I have a little to-do list right here, and I'm like, I'm gonna go
Mhm.
delist all the cheap stuff, throw it on the dollar auction. I'm gonna donate a bunch of stuff before garage sale season starts, which is
Now,
soon.
somebody, Joy asked that question
Hmm.
on our little chat. She wants to delist.
Oh yeah, that was this
You can
morning.
answer for her, yeah. If you delist a bunch, is it gonna mess with
I
like,
don't
how much do you
think
delist at one
so.
time? Like, a
Um,
lot? Like, she was talking about, like, a whole bunch of stuff.
this
Is
last
it
time
gonna
that I
mess
did
with the
it, when I
algorithm?
literally went through all my bins and got rid of everything that was like under $4, like just
Yeah.
got rid of in some like less than $10 stuff.
Mhm.
I didn't notice a difference
Okay.
really, but some people are like really sensitive to like their how their store is, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I'm like, if I
Yeah.
don't make sales today, whatever, it'll
Yeah.
be fine. But
I was just wondering if you noticed.
I haven't.
I've delisted stuff, but not a whole bunch of stuff at once. Like, I'll be
Yeah,
like,
this
let
last
me
time
get
I
rid of that,"
delisted like
or
100 something items, and
nothing. Didn't
no, I didn't really
anything.
notice. But at the same time, I was also listing like some decent stuff, also
Mhm.
like in place of all those items, because
Right.
then I had more
Mhm.
space. Um,
Mhm.
no, I didn't notice much.
So maybe just if you're delisting a bunch, make sure you're listing some good stuff
Yeah, kind of
to replace
like
it.
in place, like yeah, I'd like
Mhm.
replace it.
Yeah.
Like ever since I delisted all that stuff, I went from like 1,100 items to less than 1,000
Mhm.
now, and I haven't
Mhm.
been able to get back up past that because I'm kind of selling about as much as I'm listing right now. But I know
Mhm.
it's come garage sale season, it's gonna be a large influx. So,
Yeah.
I was gonna go through the comments on our last video
Okay. Cool.
before I forget.
Yeah.
Graham and Pops Vintage, they were the first to comment, as usual. What a perfect episode for today. I bought a whole tote of clothes with to work with me today to get listed. Hate clothes, but I can't pass them up when other sourcing options are dead in the winter, which I feel that I really do.
Mhm.
Because I went through my own closet and I'm trying to sell some of my own clothes or just clothing I've had, and just
Mhm.
like I have a couple coats I just can't get myself to list. It's just I know I have to do it.
I have
And
that
then
big pile of clothes, and a lot of the clothes I have in there are like spring stuff. Like, I should get on it, but I do
swim
want to. I
trunks,
want
tank
to make
tops.
I want to have a flat lay. So just because I just think it would be for personally for me easier. I don't know.
Mhm.
I
For
have that in
sure.
my head. That's maybe
Yeah.
it's just me making an excuse and I don't get it done, but um my it's been my goal for months to do it. I'm going to try and do it this weekend. Let's see if I get there. I'm telling everyone I'm going to do it this weekend.
Put it in the
I'll let you
accountability,
know. I
section of the
know.
Discord.
I'll let you know next week if I did it.
And then, Amy. Is it Amy? Beach by Repeat? I think
Yep.
that's her name. Ooh, clothes. My store is about 50% of it. I
Yeah,
watch
she likes
Big
clothes, I think.
Yumbo and Kaylee Elaine for clothes. Big Yumbo kills it. He works solo and does between 150K to 200K gross. Kaylee has
Wow.
a whole production. I learn new brands everything I watch. I think she meant every time I watch.
Mhm.
That's also a good thing. The best source for learning about all this is watching other people sell,
Mhm. Yep.
or even doing some like exploring on your own. Like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try this. Like, oh, I might
Mhm.
have a little niche here, and try it
Right.
out.
Mhm.
You know, um. So yeah, that's fun. That's fun. I appreciate, or we appreciate the comments.
Yeah.
on their videos. 'Cause it's nice to get some feedback. Trying to think of what else. I'm looking up some other jewelry pieces. There's like even if with like stones, like I have this piece right here I'm looking at. It's got onyx on it. Thing is, it's
Mhm.
just a black stone. I don't really know how to tell between onyx or like black diamonds because like my I'm looking for a replacement wedding ring, and I'm also in the same issue where like what's the
Mhm.
difference between black diamond and onyx, and there's a bunch of black gemstones that look the same. So as far as like listing
Mhm.
that kind of stuff, I have
Does
no clue.
is a
I don't know if the hardness is the same or not. Like,
probably not because diamond is the hardest, and whatever's making it black should, you know what I mean? It's like
mhm,
the amethyst. So purple quartz is amethyst, and
mhm,
there's minerals in there that are making it purple. And there's pink quartz, which is rose quartz. There's minerals in it making it pink, and then you just have plain quartz, white
mhm.
or clear. So I would think there's just something because you can get different color like besides black diamond. Like there's yellow. Um, there's different colors. Um,
And I
which
think
would be
they're
again inclusions in there. So the diamond should be harder. Also, wouldn't the diamond? I would think does your diamond like how does it look in the light? Does the light reflect? Because onyx
it does reflect,
should
yeah,
I
it
would think it would be
reflects.
different than onyx. Onyx is like can be if it's if it's polished, it's shiny, but it's opaque. Is yours the
Mhm.
black diamond? I don't think would be opaque, right? You can still kind of see through it,
No,
right?
you can't see through
No,
it. The black diamond, at least. So that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know. It's
I
like
don't
all
know. I don't.
specifics
I'm
in
not.
jewelry that I may never know about,
My
but
my rock and mineral knowledge is I taught it to sixth graders. That's about where it
mhm.
goes. But I've never
See, I
thought
know
about
about
a
like crystals, like
black
rose
diamond.
quartz and
Yeah.
amethyst and oh, yeah, all that.
Mm-hmm.
I know about that, but as far as like fine jewelry or like I don't know what more expensive stones, I don't know. Speaking of jewelry and or, I mean rocks and stuff, I'm
Mm-hmm.
heading to South Dakota this weekend to Graham and Pop's Vintage.
Oh
They
yeah.
found that antique what is it, a printer drawer. They found one for me, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm paying them to they fixed it up for me, like, I guess it was a little wobbly and warped, so they fixed it up, painted it black for me because I
Oh,
know if
that's
I was to pick it up,
awesome.
it would sit in my garage for a few months until I finally
Yeah.
painted it. Because
Uh-huh.
painting to me is such a long task.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can do it, it's just I procrastinate it, and then, like, I'm like, "Oh, I have to do layers, I have to do it, like, 3 different times."
Right.
Anyways, they fixed it up for me, so we're going to South Dakota this weekend, we're gonna pick it up. Then I'm gonna have a little thing for all
That's
my little
awesome.
trinkets and my little crystals. Like, I have one,
Mm-hmm.
a smaller one back there, it's like a closed one, like a little curio cabinet, it's like a hexagon shape that I
Mm-hmm.
redid myself. That was a whole task, that's why it kinda put me off of, like, painting for a while, but
Yeah.
it's got, like, all my crystals in it, so this one's gonna have, like, all my little oddities, little
Mm-hmm.
I've got little weird pieces and stuff, so it's gonna have all that on it, and maybe a few larger crystals because 'cause it's got little bigger sections on there, so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, we'll get to go on a little road trip because
That's fun.
they're about 3 hours straight shot north of me, so
Mm-hmm.
that'll be a fun little trip,
Yeah,
and my
fun.
husband's gonna come with, so that'll be fun.
Yeah. That's cool.
I'm trying to think of what else, there's not much coming up. It's warming up a little bit here. I don't know about you guys. We're supposed to get more snow, but I'm kinda hoping it doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
over it. We're up and down. It's like let me see what it is. It's 47 today, but it's cold because
Mhm,
it's really windy. I actually so I went because my everything's in the basement. I went down there and I shipped out my thing today, and I
mhm.
started to like because I really am in need of big time organization. It's a big mess, but my hands started. It was cold. Like the basement pretty much stays the same temperature, but it was colder
Mhm.
down there today. I just think because it's been kind of cold lately, so my hands were starting to get cold. I was like, I'm done.
I got my little
That's the only
space heater
problem.
on here with me because
I know. I
I'm
still
pretty
don't
cold
have one.
here, so
I know I'm gonna find one like at a hot garage sale. this summer, but I'm going to buy
It's like,
it.
it's like,
I'm
"Oh, I'm
gonna
not
say
even
to
gonna think
myself,
about being warm right now."
I need you need that in the winter. But yeah, so it's been up and down here. It was cold. It was flurrying this morning, I think my husband said. That was before I was up.
Really?
Yeah. He was
It
walking the
was
dog.
really
That was
nice here
before
the
I was
other
up.
day. It was like 51 or something, but now it's like all like 30s and 40s for the
Mm.
next week. So I'm hoping it gets a little bit better.
I think the
It's
clocks
kind of
change next week. That's my
oh,
favorite.
that'll help. I think it'll help a lot of people because
It
like
helps me.
winter depression is real. So I'm hoping this
Hmm.
clock change will help with that. More
It
daylight
helps
and
me. It's
oh
it sounds silly because I don't have a regular like when I work, you worked a regular job and you came home in the winter and it's like already dark and you're ready for bed. So
yeah.
you think, well, you don't have a regular job, it shouldn't matter. Yeah, but I sleep late.
I need
So,
to get back on the sleep schedule thing. I did that thing last week where I did an
uh-huh.
all-nighter, but,
Yeah.
then
It
we
didn't
went out of
stay.
town, and then
Yeah.
and then I was trying to do my goal on this game, so I stayed
Hmm.
up late a few nights, and
That's what
now it's
happens to
finally
me.
done, so I'm like, "Okay, now I'm gonna get my crap together." I'm like, "I'm gonna list all my things, I'm gonna start doing yoga again, start
Hmm.
sleeping at a decent time again." So I'm like
Hmm.
trying to get my stuff in order before grad sale season because I know that's like
Yeah.
the busiest season. I like plan to deep clean my whole house so that like everything's just
I'm
ready
trying
to
to do
go
that
and
too.
like
Yeah.
focus on like reselling
I know.
and
That's how I feel. I
hustling
as
this
long
year.
as my mom has surgery on her wrist that she broke tomorrow, and I hopefully
Mhm.
after that they calm down because they have been a mess lately, driving me crazy. My parents don't drive me that crazy. It's my sisters who drive me crazy about my parents. So, but hopefully that'll
Hopefully
it's
it
it's like
calms
every
down.
time I feel like, oh, I was like getting my act together and getting in gear and like getting some of my death pile, and then
Mhm.
both of
And
them
something
completely
happens.
fall apart for like 3 weeks. They each hurt their back and then she breaks her
Oh
wrist. I'm
man.
like, I can't with you two. But hopefully after this, because the backs are better. Just got to get her arm
Mhm.
fixed. But yeah, it's one of those. You're getting your personal act together, and nobody else is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But hopefully,
Yeah, I'm just grad sale season I'm looking forward to. Here in about a month will be the Vegas meetup. That'll be fun. I'm just
oh
like
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to look forward to things. It's nice to have things
We
to
have
look
a
forward to. I guess
Philly
that
area meetup in at the end of
yeah,
August.
that'll be fun. And then
Yeah.
there's the reseller rally. I didn't get
Mhm.
tickets and I guess it's sold out already and it's kind of like,
Yeah, that.
I don't know. I'm meeting Kevin, Dave, and Carrie. Like we all are in Vegas, and I'm like,
Hmm.
that's like the main people I want to meet. The other
Yeah.
main people I would really like to meet is Shed Flips.
Hmm.
Other than that, I don't want like keep up with a lot of other resellers that I like.
Yeah.
Oh, and Kayla, homeschooling picker, I'd love to meet her too.
Hmm.
Other than that, there's not a ton of other resellers I want to meet up with. Like Cincinnati Picker's cool. I used to follow him, but I kind of fell off on that. Like there's
Yeah.
only certain
I don't
resellers that I
really.
really like personally like vibe with. So I'm like,
Hmm. Yeah.
of
I
course there's gonna
exactly.
be a ton of them there, but it's a big event too. And I'm like, we already have
It's
two things planned, and it's like then it's
if I
only
was going with like a group of people already, but
mhm,
it's what I mean. I don't know many people, and I
mhm.
wouldn't have fun at that big of a thing. Like I'm
Yeah,
not a
it's stressful.
how you doing? Let me talk to you and you and you. I'm not. That's not
That's
me.
why I'm kinda
So
excited about Vegas because it's a little bit smaller of an
yeah.
event. It's like
Hmm.
we all know each other from the Discord already, so it's kinda gonna
Right.
be fun, like
That'll be
well,
fun.
most of the people that are going, I know there's some people on there that probably aren't even on the Discord, so
Right.
I know some of us, like, already
Yeah, but
all
there's
know
a
each other,
group of
so
us, like not me, but there's a group going that y'all have fun.
yeah, looking forward to it. It's coming up really fast, like, I didn't even know it turned to March the other
Yeah, I
day. It was
know.
already, like, March 3rd, I'm like, "Oh,
Right.
it's not February anymore." I
Mm-mm.
wasn't paying
Thank goodness.
attention, I was just going, doing my thing.
Thank goodness. Ooh, I just want some warmer weather.
Yes, this winter seems so long, so I'm just Excited. Anyways, that's all I've got. I mean,
Yep,
jewelry,
that's our
I'm hoping
beginners.
maybe
We'd like
yeah,
some
and then
more.
maybe when we get some more experience jewelry-wise, like over the summer or something, or I know we talked
Mhm.
about maybe doing a couple like show and tell episodes where we like
Yeah.
show what
Mhm.
we bought at garage sales.
Right.
Maybe that way, maybe one of us will find something really cool jewelry-wise and be like, "Hey, keep an eye out for this."
Yeah. The more you learn, the more we'll share. You share with us too.
Yes.
So, um, yeah. I mean, we know more than we think we know. I think we talked for an hour.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Um, yeah, that's all I got.
Well, that's me too. So,
If you guys have any suggestions for episodes, because thank you to Grandpa's Vintage, we have a little list of stuff we want to talk about, but
hmm and
sometimes we
sometimes,
kind of want it to be more fitting to like current situations. I'm like, oh well,
or
I have a jewelry thing coming today, and like I just
hmm
had a few couple jewelry
hmm
things I found that I listed,
yeah,
and they're kind of cool.
hmm
It's kind of nice to have something that goes with something like happening at the
yeah,
same time. So,
yep.
anyways,
So, I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I hope it gets warmer if you want warmer.
yes,
And those of you that want it to stay cold,
go somewhere else. No.
yeah. So,
All right.
all right.
Well, have a good weekend, guys. We'll see you
Bye,
later.
guys. Bye.